She didn't know she was a bit short-sighted, so it seemed normal to her that the gas lamps round the bullring, the naphtha flares on the traders' stalls, even the match struck by a man close to her to light his cigarette, were a soft, edged outburst of light and colour. Standing amid all the shouting as the traders vied to sell off Saturday night's cheap cuts of meat and fruit and veg, the glowing lights made her feel nice. A smile lit up her normally vacant expression. "Want one?" At first she had no idea that he was talking to her. People hardly ever did talk to Marigold directly, except to give her orders. They talked round her and about her. "Marigold won't want one of them. Marigold doesn't do things like that." A few days ago she'd turned 16. Under her old tweed coat she wore a muddy grey frock from the pawn shop. Rosina at 11 wore the prettiest clothes because she had the nerve to keep on and get what she wanted. Violet was far too mousy to talk back to their mother, but at least she could save for bits and pieces with what was left of her wages. Bessie had relented and let her keep 2 bob a week now. But she wouldn't let Marigold go out to work. Oh no, she was needed at home. So Charlie and Violet were bringing in a wage, but not her. She never had any money to call her own. Marigold didn't complain because no one heard her if she did. She was a frumpy sight in her old woman's clothes and flat shoes, wide as boats, her black hair chopped chin-length and Kirby-gripped. Weighing her down were the carriers of meat and fruit. "Marigold'll go into town for the meat auction. She likes it." For once, Mum was right. She did like it. It was Marigold's one taste of freedom. But she didn't think for a moment that any man would bother talking to her, or that her ripe, solid shape and dark brown eyes might be of interest to anyone. "I said, Joe want one." Marigold jumped, alarmed by the attention. He'd come close and was holding out a single cigarette. The face that looked out from under his cap was gaunt, tired-looking, but his pale eyes were friendly. "All right." She'd never smoked a fag before. He leaned closer and pushed the end of the cigarette between her lips. "There you go." She saw that he opened the box of matches with one hand, and then leaned down and struck the match on the ground, bringing the little flame carefully up towards her. "Good job it ain't windy." She saw his left arm was missing, or part of it, and the sleeve of his jacket pinned. Marigold was about to speak, but she breathed in a great chestful of the smoke without meaning to, and coughed and retched until her eyes ran. "First one, is it?" the man asked, grinning once she'd stopped gagging. Marigold nodded, gulping. She took another cautious puff on the cigarette without breathing in. That worked better. "What happened to your arm?" Her throat was stinging. "Wipers, that's what happened," he said sourly. She saw the muscles in his cheek clench for a moment. "No one wants a bloody cripple working for them." "Ow," Marigold said. He seemed amused at her lack of pity. "Oh, is that all you can say?" Marigold shrugged and puffed on the cigarette again. "Tastes like tar," she said. He laughed. "Does a bit." There was a pause. Sounds of the market surrounded them. The air was full of smells of smoke and cooked meat, mild ale and crushed oranges. "Where you going, then?" "Get a chicken," Marigold said. "Come on, then." He told her his name was Tommy Kay. "Tommy Kay," Marigold said in wonder. "You look quite old." "Old as the hills," he teased. "What's your name?" "Marigold." She giggled with him this time, bubbly and excited. "Violet, my sister, says it's a cow's name." He didn't ask her age. Together they walked through the crowds to where a group were gathered round a chubby, red-cheeked man in a blood-smeared overall. There was a lot of pushing and jostling and shouting wisecracks. Tommy helped her buy a chicken, holding it up with laughing eyes. "Look at the state of that. Looks as if someone sat on it." The chicken did look flat and dejected. Marigold giggled again. Everything seemed funny with Tommy Kay. Tommy asked her where she lived. "I live up Blowsells. I'll walk up with you." Bessie always told Marigold to use a penny for the tram, but Tommy was insistent. "No need, it ain't far. Give us one of your bags." "All right," Marigold said, suddenly feeling shy and overwhelmed by the thought of walking all the way home.